see that I'm a person who came in not loving it, but I fell in love with it. Now I have a purpose. I feel like I have a dream. Now I feel like I hope and pray that more Bengalis can join more marathon and runs and race that.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম সবাইকে, রানিং স্টোরিজে স্বাগতম সবাইকে। আমি তায়েফ রহমান আবার চলে আসলাম সাথে ফিটনেস এবং রানিং নিয়ে কথা বলতে। আজকে আমার সাথে আছে সাইদা বেগম। শি ইজ অলসো আ ম্যারাথন রানার। শি হ্যাজ ডান 2 New York City marathon and she is here today to share her experience with us. So please welcome Saida. And let me just tell our audience that I never met Saida in person. This is the first time I'm seeing her. We had talked on the phone a few times, messaged a few times, and now she's here sharing her experience. I just want to welcome Saida. Thank you for coming in. And how are you today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. I'm happy to see you in person now. And I just want to start by asking you if you wanted to introduce yourself to our audience, like where you from, what do you do?
So my name is Syeda, as you know, and I was born and raised in Bangladesh. When I came here, I was 8 years old. And I always was into sports. And in Bangladesh, I used to love running for some reason. That's what my mom told me.
So when you were a child, you started running already. Okay. That was
Apparently, according to mom. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I used to love running a lot, but I never thought I would be into it like at this age. So when we came here when I was 8 years old, I was in middle school. That's when I realized I love being part of sports world.
Okay.
And my parents, being Bangladeshi, my parents were never into athletic thing where, oh, my son or daughter need to be in sports. Nothing like that. They had no desire. I'm a kid, so whatever I like, you do it only in school. When you come home, does not exist.
Just study, study, study. Become
Exactly.
a doctor and lawyer. That's all our parents wanted.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's all I was doing, coming home. But I was eager to go home, go outside and play. And I grew up in Lower East Side when we first moved to America.
Okay.
We grew up in New York City, Lower East Side. That's where a lot of Bengali people were in the 90s. That's when we came. And little kids, us, we used to love going back and forth in Orchard Street. It's an area called Orchard Street where the stores will close down after 5.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole street is empty. Nothing but cars parked. And we used to just run back and forth with other Bengali kids. And that's pretty much it. But I never thought I would be in love with running then.
So let me just start. Okay, so you came to 8 years old, you got into your school, you just all that sports. So when did you really started finding out yourself that you were kind of like getting into running? So when did that start? What age? And
maybe after college.
Okay.
So
when was that? What year was that?
I would say probably 2002.
Okay, so you started college 2002, and so talk me through the timeline. Like, how did you start running? Like, what got it? I mean,
okay.
How? Yeah.
So in college, I realized college, they have their own sports, own team. So I used to go support. Some of my friends were into sports, but whenever they had a game, I used to go with other friends. And they used to practice in the gym. Okay. So I used to go, I'm going to the gym just to watch them. And then I realized, oh my God, why am I watching them and I'm not being like part of it? So
interesting.
Yeah. So after that, one day I realized I should run. But when I came prepared, I was embarrassed a little bit, like, how am I going to run? How am I going to run with this? Because these people are really into fitness and I'm not. I'm just here to look cute a little bit and run, but not too cute. Kind of like that. So then I realized one of the friends who was really into sports, he was like, you should come run in Central Park with me. And my college was right by Central Park. So we went for a walk. And remember, in my mind, I think I'm going to run, but I'm going to look cute. That's all was in my head. Then next thing you know, we started to jog a little bit. In my head, I'm running. is jogging in reality. But after that day, I went home and I was like, wow, I ran today. I really ran today. I should do this more often. So I contacted the friend again, like, hey, are we going running again? And he knows his jogging in my head is a running. So we kept on doing it every day.
Right. So you had pretty much no goal. You just like a friend invited you to just go for a jog or run, and you just went with the person and you just did that. So there was no goal of anything. Like I had a guest talking about they had high cholesterol level, they wanted to lose weight. People have reasons to start exercising. The running was one of that regimen. So that's what I usually get. So you had nothing. You just wanted to go out there, do it. Okay. So you don't want to be sit there and watch it. You don't want to be the audience. You want to be an active player. So look at that. So that's the mindset you already had from the beginning. Okay, so please continue.
So as we started to meet up again and again, and we will run. And again, like I said, in my mind, I think I'm running, but this is jogging. So eventually we started telling each other like, hey, we should sign up for a race. This is maybe 2010 at this point. Like I said, I wasn't committed or anything. I was just doing this for fun with my friend. 2010, there was a race not far from my house, and it was like 5K.
Okay.
I signed up just to look cute. Remember, this whole event in my head, I'm running, I'm going to look cute. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So 5K, I signed up for it. It was so many people. As soon as we go in the morning, the day of the race, I see people stretching in my head like, am I supposed to stretch? Because if I stretch, then I'm not going to look cute. So then I'm like following what other people are doing. I honestly do not know what I was doing, but I'm stretching. I'm pretending I'm stretching, but I don't know what I'm doing.
I had the same incident once when I first started running, and I used to go there to Central Park. All these new road runners used to have run, and you go up early, and you see people jogging, stretching. Like, what are they doing? I mean, we're excited to finally be on the start line. When did the race start? But you see people doing their thing, like all these drills they do. But I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I started running, and honestly, then as soon as they say go, I'm running, I'm jogging. And then I'm like, wait, why am I going so slow? At this point, I don't even know what jogging is, but I know I was just slower than other people are in front of me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to speed up a little more. And this is kind of funny story. Then I saw a cute guy running faster than me. I was like, oh my God, I need to catch up with him. So I started going a little more faster than usual. And as soon as the race was over, I realized, oh my God, I'm going to do this, continue on. And after the race, my friend was like, good job, good job. You didn't jog this time, you ran. So I was like, wow, I'm running.
So very nice. So that was your first 5K, and you enjoyed it. You wanted to continue doing that, right? So what is that made that? Did you find out?
Then I realized I was competing myself with others. And more importantly, I was competing with me. Remember, in my head, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm jogging. I don't know if I'm running. But then end of the race, I realized, wow, I wasn't doing any of that. I was actually running.
I have to ask you now, like since you mentioned jogging and running, can you please clarify for our audience what is jogging and what is running?
Okay, for me, like I said, I had no structure of what running is or anything. I just started going with a friend. So jogging to me is something you warm up your body. You walking, but you're moving your body a little more, but it's little speed, little faster than walking.
Okay.
So that's my jogging, my style of jogging. Running, you basically stretching your legs longer to see how fast you can go, or your legs, your steps can be longer than your jogging. That's my definition. I could be wrong.
No, that's fine. I mean, I have read that too. Like I remember, I don't. There's a time limited. I mean, time with that. Like if you run more than 10 minutes per mile, then it would be considered jogging. Anything less than 10 minutes a mile, it's running. I mean, I've read it somewhere when I.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, that is probably.
I mean, no, you are right too. Like depending on, not everybody is in the same place, right? So everybody have their own pace, but you're right. Jogging and running, there is a difference, definitely.
Yeah, but when I started off, I didn't know the difference. I'm just going and
So,
going and going.
so my next question to you. So you said you did the 5K and then started on your running journey.
Mhm.
And when was the first time you ran the marathon? Like, walk me through your
So,
journey to marathon. How did you?
mhm.
Mhm.
So after that 5K really made me think about keep on going and going. So this time I started to run on my own. And this is the only time I started to time myself.
Got it.
And I realized, oh my God. So the very first time when I ran, it was like probably, I don't know, probably 30 minutes. And it was like maybe 4 miles into it. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I went back to school one day and I saw one of my directors. She was a very good, I guess she was into running as well. I was like, oh my God, I ran, but I don't know this minute. Look at this. And she was like, oh my God. And she read the 4 miles and the distance and the pace.
Wow.
Remember,
So
I
did
had
you
no
just
clue.
set 30 minutes?
Yeah, it
Four
was 30
miles?
minutes.
So less than 8 a mile. Wow. That's a
Yes.
great, fantastic.
But I didn't know until someone else pointed me and like, look what you did. And they went to my monitor where they showed me all
So
these things.
Saida, it seems like you were born to run. That's what it seems like to me. Like you just find out. I mean, usually when you start, I see 12, 13. But when you see 8, I mean, I'm sure we're going to get to that, your pace, but let's continue.
No, but then someone else clarified
Hmm.
what this was. I'm just
Okay.
going in there showing them, like, hey, this is what I did. What do you think? They're like, oh, Saida, you need to start doing this more often. And then I started to, this is where this lady inspired me because she clarified what 4 was. 4 was the mile, the minutes were the pace. After that, I understood that each week, at least once or twice, I would go to Central Park on my own to do this. And then that 4 start to increase. So I was like, oh my God, so 4, it's 4 miles. Now it's 5 miles. So I started going and going. So at that point, I was doing more of like 3 days a week or
Okay.
4 days a week
Okay.
going to Central Park. So which is better than my 4.
So you kept increasing the distance. That's what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying. And you're seeing the improvement and without any supervision or any guidance, just by
Right.
yourself, right? So you were continuing increasing your run. And that's when did you decide that you were going to run a marathon?
Well, still at that point, I still didn't decide running a marathon. I just thought like, okay, I need to make like really speed where I go to 4 minutes a mile, all these stuff is unrealistic. So soon as I made like 7 minutes per mile, that's when I started to think about applying for marathon. So then I went back to the lady, my director at the time. I was like, look, Dr. Burton, look what I did. And she was like, okay, apply for a marathon. Maybe you can qualify for it. I was like, but I need practice because I hear all the time people have to do training. What is training? She was like, no, you keep on going to Central Park, start running more and more. That's your training. I was like, okay. So then I applied for New York City Marathon 2019. And, not everything was shut down, I think, at that point, because it was November 2020. I'm going to apply. The run going to
Oh,
start. So
right.
2019, I applied for the marathon, but I didn't
2019.
get.
And meantime, did you do any races?
I didn't do any of it. I kept on going on in Central Park.
So you just kept running for yourself or just increasing in distance. So 2019 is the time when you applied for a marathon. And what year did you run the marathon?
Then COVID happened. So
Right.
2021, I actually applied and I got in. That was my first marathon.
So you ran marathon in 2021, you said?
2021, yes.
2021. And how was your training for that? How did you train for that? And if you want to go a brief overview of your training and the overall journey, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2021, when I applied and I got the letter saying you are accepted, I was like, what do I do now? Central Park will be my best friend. That was in my head. Then my neighbor at the time, she was like, oh my God, you need to come join my club. I was like, what club is that? Do I have to pay for it? She was like, no, it's our neighborhood running club. So I went with her a few times. I loved it. I didn't realize running clubs give you so much motivation. So I started following that group. That was my training, going They used to meet twice a week, and once a week they will do entire Central Park, like 3, 4 loops, and that's like almost 26 miles. But not every day. They would do like one loop one week, the second week would be 2 loops going around, and they would mix it up. They would pick neighborhood where it have hills. Central Park is not as hilly, so they would mix it up. So I used to go with her. That was my training, but I didn't pay for any classes or anything like that. The neighborhood running club was my training sessions.
Perfect. Like that's really helpful when you have a group training session and a support team like that. You can definitely accomplish a lot. That's great. So, what was your long run? What was your long run before the marathon? What
Before
was the
the
distance?
marathon with the group, I did 13 miles.
No, the longest run. I mean, either way, you by yourself or the group.
Oh, by
But
myself, I
yeah.
actually did like, yeah, about half a marathon, which I didn't realize was a half marathon, 13.1. But on my own, I used to do 13 miles on my own.
So you just did 13.1 miles before 26.2?
Yes,
That was the
many
longest
times I
run.
did it on my
Wow.
own.
So, and let's talk before we get to the marathon day experience. If you want to share your, how did you, nutrition wise, during that training frame? Did anything change with the training plan? Your habit, your food intake, or any nutrition? Anything
Mm.
you want to share with us?
Funny. So as soon as I told my mom about this, right, that I got accepted, my mom used to prep white rice all the time. I
আমরা
used to come,
মাছে ভাতে বাঙালি, আমি এটা বলি প্রায়, ভাত আমাদের লাগবেই সব সময়. We love rice.
yeah. So going to the club, they used to say pasta, pasta. Used to come home and I used to tell my mom, pasta, pasta. She's like, durability, pasta, but number one. Then she used to make more rice for me, and I was like, I can't eat all of this. So I would eat more rice than the, tahari. So I would have fish. I would only get the fish and not the shira, the gravy. So I would get the fish and the rice. That was
Okay.
my protein and
And the carb. And the carb. That's what we did. Fantastic, fantastic. So nothing, so just regular meal, whatever we eat. Other than that, I mean,
yes.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
what we
but growing
need.
up,
Yeah.
we never were, Bengali household. We never had like junk food where make us more fuller than what we are. But bhat is the only thing that I look forward to eating and
Yeah.
fish and stuff.
Yeah, my mom loves to cook. Unfortunately, my wife does it too. So we are spoiled homemade food. So I understand. We love our
Yeah,
food.
and it helped
Okay.
us too for the marathon.
Oh yeah, definitely. We that definitely does help with carbs. So
Mhm.
you want to share any challenges? Did you face any challenges during the training, or is on the maybe on the marathon day, or you want to share your marathon day experience with us as well?
Oh, well, I didn't have any challenging aspects of it before the marathon. Like I said, to me, it wasn't like, oh, I have to do well or anything. It's just like, oh my God, I'm in the marathons. Oh my God, I'm in a running club. Oh my God, I'm running on my own. That excitement was in my head. So, coming towards the first, no, when I went to pick up my bibs and stuff for the marathon, I started seeing people and I start to like get nervous because all these people coming in and they like this. And I'm like a little 5 feet, whatever, like 2 feet tall, and all the bot that I eat. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to compete with this 26 miles? So I picked up my bib the night before. Again, my mom would make lots and lots of rice, and she's like, oh, cow, prepare for tomorrow. I was like, oh shoot. If I eat this, how am I gonna do this? Because I just saw people when they picked up the marathon, they like this, and I'm gonna be like whiter next day if I eat this much. So I ate rice as usual. I didn't change my plan or anything. I didn't do anything special. I did regular meal with my mom. And next morning, only thing that I did little differently was the banana. I put banana in a bread and made a sandwich. I took that with me
For the
in
race day.
Staten Island.
Great, awesome.
Yeah. pretty much.
Anything specific you want to share from your first marathon experience? And also, I wanted to add, like you mentioned about the time. Did you have any time goal with that marathon, or you just wanted to finish?
I have to tell you another story on this. So now that he said that, when I was running the marathon, honestly, I was so excited. I kept on running and running. I didn't realize which borough I was in.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes you lose track of your time and space. So I totally get it.
No.
And a funny thing I have to tell you, I mean, the first marathon, I was running with my phone on my hand. Just imagine 26.2 miles.
Oh my God.
That's, I was capturing all the moments with my phone.
Yes, I
Every,
saw
I,
pictures too. I'm like, no, I need to run. I need to run.
so you didn't have a time goal, did you?
I didn't set up a time goal or anything, kept on going, but I did it within 4 hours. So that was my,
Mashallah,
yeah,
mashallah,
but I did, like I
congrats.
said,
Wow, fantastic.
like I said,
First marathon 4 hours. I mean, that's definitely amazing. Fantastic. And
yeah.
so anything you want to share from that event? Anything that
That event,
inspired
oh,
you? Because I know New York City Marathon is one of the major, as you know, and it's the largest, right? Number wise, 50 plus thousand runners from all over the world, they come and attend.
mhm,
I mean, the whole environment is so electrifying. It's just it's
mhm.
mind blowing, right? So you want to share something from your end?
Yeah, like I said, before when I was running, I didn't realize which bar I was in. I kept on going and going. And after the race at the finish line, even when I was going, I didn't realize at the finish line, I realized each borough, everybody came to support all these runners. They did not think about that's a girl running or that's a guy running or this is an old guy or skinny guy or short guy running. They cheered for everybody that was moving. They cheered for it regardless they were walking or jogging or running. They didn't identify any of the runners. They looked at it as they are running. They're running for me. Kind of like, wow, I cannot do it, but they're doing it for me and they're cheering it louder and louder. And that inspired me. Like these people came out not thinking what kind of person is running. They just know runners are going. So let's cheer for them. It's like
Exactly.
there's no boundary for them.
I totally understand. Yeah, I mean, the crowds were amazing. It's just unbelievable, the support. I mean, that's what it makes, especially right after Queensbridge when you get there and make the right turn on the First Avenue. It's just,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's a must. I mean, New York City Marathon would be the bucket list for everyone, right? To
Yes.
experience that if you really want to run a marathon. So,
Of course.
yeah, so that was your first marathon, and then you ran New York City Marathon again in next year,
Mm-hmm.
2022.
Next
Fantastic.
year, yeah, the following year they accepted me, but I did some little more training this time because I knew what it takes.
Wow.
So the second one, when I did it, it was
Yeah.
amazing. I enjoyed it more. I understood more.
Hmm.
When I was running for the second one, I was prepared mentally and physically. This time I knew because the cheering, I need to represent for my country. I started carrying my flag. I was more prepared than other than my banana sandwich.
Wow. So, Annie, did you make a PR on that too, or second marathon?
No.
Okay. I mean, that was when you said about the flag, I was going to get to that question next.
Sorry.
Like, no, that's fine. Like, what inspires you? Like, the next segment is pretty much, I want to ask you, like, what is that inspires you to keep running and pushing yourself? Like
Mhm.
that's from our conversation, I understand that you keep pushing yourself. So what is that kind of motivates you or inspires you?
Well, the second marathon inspired me a little more because, like I said, the first one I was just clueless. I just want to enjoy.
Right.
The second one inspired me a little more because when I was running first marathon, I realized people are doing this for love of race, and here I am. I have nothing. No, I'm just running. So I started to pick people, not pick, but I realized there are people who are like me, Bangladeshi, would never think of running. So I said, the next marathon, if they accept me, I'm going to have a purpose. And my purpose was I want to see more of Bengali people like me, a woman like me running. So second time, I wrote down my goals. If I'm going to run, I saw some Bengali people or like South Asian people cheering. I realized at that point, like, okay, this is the marathon. I'm going to start to put my flag so they can see there is a Bengali person running here. And they cheering for everyone, but when they see me, they're going to cheer even louder for me. And then there are one or two being Southeast Asian people that I saw. I realized they are my inspiration. I don't know them, but they inspired me because that's when I determined I'm going to do this again next year because of them. Because I saw someone that kind of blend in like me, similar.
Fantastic what you just said. I mean, that's what it's our episode is running on purpose. I mean, you found your purpose, right? To, I mean, represent your country, Bangladesh, and bring that people in you and inspire the way you got inspired. You want to inspire them too. And I shared the same feeling as you are. I don't know if you know, that's what my journey started back in 2017 when I first finished my New York City Marathon, and I went in the Hall of Wall, like the 6-star finisher. That's when I found out. I didn't see Bangladesh's flag or Bangladesh's name. I see all countries. I was like, how come Bangladesh is not there? No one ever done it. So that's how I made myself a goal. I wanted to finish all 6. And the journey still continues. But Alhamdulillah, already now
You
I see.
inspire me now.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, that's the goal. We aspire to inspire. That's what it is. I always say it's a hashtag, aspire to inspire. But that's what I was doing actually. I never thought I would continue running, and I doing that because I really want to see Bangladesh there. And I was gonna say that 2 of brothers. I know one brother. He'll be in the show too, also on our podcast. First Bangladeshi to finish all 6, so he's there. He should be on my show too. And I see another name, but I don't know the person. But so 2 person from Bangladesh is on the 6-star Wall of Fame. So that's amazing. I'm really happy, and I want more Bangladeshis to come and get it. And I want you to also go for it, do all 6. Inshallah, definitely. So going back to our, so you did 1 and 2 New York City Marathon. So do you want to give any advice to someone who wants to start running, someone newbie, someone who wants to, anything you would like to tell to them?
I definitely would love someone to follow kind of my journey, but this time have a purpose. But it's hard to. We Bangladeshi, our culture is a little different. Support is limited. So I want someone to start running without a purpose. And then everything will come naturally within them. That's what I feel like. Because look, I started my journey, I had nothing. I had no time goal. I had no structure for the training. I wasn't looking for someone to cheer for me. Then I realized all these things came in my second one.
Right. I mean, many people might be wondering, like, what is that we talk about running? What's in that? I mean, unless you really do it and go through that feelings, it's hard to explain. I mean, they say it's endorphins, right? When you run for certain distance, your brain releases a chemical, endorphins. It's a happy hormones. It makes you happy. It's like anything, right? It makes you to go back again and again to get that feelings. It's a good habit. We have all these bad habits, but it takes time to build that habit. So, and we had this discussion with many other guests, is a consistency. So you repeat yourself. When you repeat yourself something again and again, you see the results, you kind of continue doing that. So what you just said, you don't need a purpose, but if you have a purpose, that's fine. But if you want to try running, you're most welcome. You don't need much, just need a good pair of shoe. I always tell, a lot of people ask me, what do I need to start running? I say, you don't need anything. Only thing you need is a good pair of shoe, because that's very important. And when they ask me what brand I should take or get, I say, no, there is no brand. You just go to a running specific store and get them, analyzes your foot, and then they would find a pair of shoe for you, because everybody's feet is different. They do that overpronation and all that stuff.
See, maybe, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
You said some good pair of shoes, right? So when I started first running, I didn't have good pair of shoes. So eating, I didn't have that. Time goal, nothing. Like nothing like that was set. Eventually, I got my shoes. runner shoes, tights, like naturally came to me. So let's say if I planned it, right? Like I'm gonna run a marathon after this running Central Park, and then I'm gonna go to run a New York City marathon. I don't know if I would have stayed with it because I'm not a consistent person when it comes to certain things. That's my personal thing, but it just fell in place in the right way, and here I am talking to you and
Right. Well,
sharing.
no, no, that's what it is. I mean, no, people wants to know. I mean, I'm just sharing exactly, and I understand what you're saying. But they wanted to ask all these questions, like, what do they need? They see as runners, like you
Mm-hmm,
and me, having all this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you need all this to start running." So that's their mindset, or that's their thinking. But I'm saying you don't need all that. It will come over time. But to start, you at least need you just can go with a flat because you can get injured like that. So the right gear would be that there's so many, but as a first one, I would say shoe. So that
mm-hmm.
was usually I say, just try to
I
get at
lost
least, if
weight.
you, even if you don't
Helps.
have a, yeah. So yeah, it's all about learning experience. Trust me, we we learn from all our daily activities and we move on. That's fantastic. So going back to so that's great advice. So hopefully the audience will get from that. And so we're almost at the end on our shows to conclude.
Mhm.
So what is your next goal? Do you have any running goals for you
You
coming up?
just inspired me. I probably should be aiming for at least world marathon runner like you.
Please, yeah, any way I can help you, please let me know. And I want, as I said, more Bangladeshis to be on that list. We need to grow because I've seen all other countries, they're growing numbers. I mean, that's something to inspire. I mean, have a goal, right? Is a goal setting is very important. I mean, I feel like, yeah, maybe you don't have a goal to start with, but when you slowly go ahead in life, you
Mhm.
have to have a goal that will give you a clear, and you have to dream. Like my tagline, that if I told you, I'm start as a running coach and I started a business, so my tagline is dream, believe, and achieve. So sometimes we don't dream. I mean, we have to dream, we have to have a vision, and that comes with that time. So you have to start dreaming that realistic, or from where you are, and make that goal, and slowly you have to start take that step.
Mhm.
One day you'll see, oh, how far you have come back. So i'm
Absolutely.
sure i'm sure I mean, that's the whole point, like to inspire others, hopefully whatever journey they're on. And at the end of the day, we want to be healthy, right? Running
Absolutely.
is a medium. Running, I feel like, is one medium that I and you enjoy, and we do it for our own purpose. So I wanted to share this running journey with all of you so you can be inspired and hopefully choose running as your fitness uh,
Absolutely.
regimen.
I
So
hope people can pick this up with this watching our video and see that I'm a person who came in not loving it, but I fell in love with it. Now I have a purpose. I feel like I have a dream. Now I feel like I hope and pray that more Bengalis can join more marathon and runs and race that can represent us because I don't see that many of us. So hopefully people watch our video and they're like, you know what, maybe I should give it a try. Let's go. Maybe a longi with them and let's try it. I don't know.
no, exactly. Fantastic. Yeah, that's the point. And I don't know if you know, in Bangladesh, even now, they have so many running events going on right now. Many people are running. Last few years, the whole running just went like boom. I mean,
Mhm.
running is part of life. I mean, that's fantastic. That's what I'm saying. At any age, some people say, oh, I'm this age, I cannot run. I have this pain, that pain. I mean, we have all excuses. I'm saying, I mean, just go for it. I mean, try it. See how you like it.
You see how you said health? People had health issues. In my case, I didn't. Alhamdulillah, no issues. But in our culture, we do have pain, like back pain, this and that hold us back. A lot of people like, oh, Beta, I cannot walk, I cannot run, but do it. Like you said, have a
Right.
purpose. I'm gonna run, maybe my back pain will be less. Have that. So
Exactly. There are ways to navigate that. It's to like reach out for help. That's
yeah.
I also sometimes I feel like we're helpless. We don't know what to do. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, that's why I wanted to come out. I just got my certification too. That's why I want to help my Bangladeshi community.
Hmm.
And there are ways to navigate that. Is to like reach out for help. That's
Yeah.
I also sometimes I feel like we're helpless. We don't know what to do. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, that's why I wanted to come out. I just got my certification too. That's why I want to help my Bangladeshi community.
Hmm.
And that's where we're lacking. I feel like we are lacking in this department. And hopefully bringing us, you, me, we as a group, and we have a lot of plans, to be honest, and we'll go over that, discuss that more and more. And this is just the beginning. I hope you can come on the show, share your experience with us, and inspire us as well. So as a community, we can grow.
Absolutely.
That's the goal. What else I was gonna say?
Well, we
But
have people like you now. We will achieve that goal. Like you said, Bangladeshi have more race in the clubs now, and us in New York, we can start doing our people here in New York. We can,
yeah,
motivate.
definitely. I One brother I just had an interview the other day from Atlanta. He runs Atlanta Muslim Running Club. He's from Bangladesh too, so you'll see that episode coming too on my channel. I just had but anyway, so there are a lot of people out there. New York City has a Muslim club. I didn't know that, so I just found out from him. So there are a lot of clubs out there. So we just have to find out, get connected, and grow as a community. That's one thing. And as I said, I'm organizing actually. I'll be going to Bangladesh next week. By the time it's airing on the show, so maybe it's already done. So it's hopefully I get to do 5K for my dad's charity. That's the plan. Um, Keep me in your prayer, and inshallah.
Which I'm gonna
Well,
do virtually, by the way. I saw the
fantastic,
charity.
and we'll discuss on that right after the show. And do you have any questions or anything you wanted to add before we close our?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you for taking your time out and having me and sharing my experience, and thank you for having the Bangladeshi kind of club out there for us. So please keep it going what you're doing, and if you need any kind of support from us runners in New York or in outside of New York, we are here for you. We will support you, and you have a biggest fan here.
I really appreciate that, Saida. Thank you so much. It means a lot. I just want to tell our audiences, please feel free to comment and have any questions. Feel free to email me, rahmanfitwellness@gmail.com. That is my email address. You can email me, contact me if you have any question for me or Saida. I will send questions to Saida, or if Saida wants to share her or whatever email or any platform she wants to. But yeah, please do stay with this channel. I would bring more stories, and hopefully our goal is to inspire you. That's the whole point. We all want to be healthy and support each other, and we cannot go by ourselves. We all need this together.
Yeah.
And this is now more than ever. We have to be united. And that's the whole point. Thank you again so much, audience. Inshallah, we'll see you next time. Until then, stay healthy, be safe, and keep running. Assalamu alaikum.